He's got his PS5 Slim pre-order armed and ready. It's Mark.
No, I don't. I ain't buying that shit. I already got PS5. You need one, boy.
And of course, I'm always going to be defending Wipeout HD. This is Blasting Trouble Reports, another episode in the realm of video games. We hope that you are here to enjoy what we have to talk about today. We're going to start with what we're playing, move on to the fact that PS5 is just getting pricey, which is crazy. Then we're going to jump in and talk about some futuristic racing games that we actually spent a pretty good time talking about and playing. So, Mark, how you doing?
Like you don't switch to me instead. A little backstage, like behind the scenes real quick. Bryan took like several takes to do that intro. He kept saying PS4 and then Slim.
Yeah, I said, so here's how it went. I said, alright guys, he's got his PS4 Slim. I had the Slim right. I didn't have the 5 right. Then I said he's got his I thought I said PS5. Then I said PlayStation 5 pre-order, which is not the fucking thing. It's the Slim. And then I said, it's a whole process because there's a lot of syllables there. PlayStation Slim. So, anyway, we're moving on.
PlayStation 1.
Yeah, anyway, we're moving on. Mark, I want to jump into what we're playing before we get into the thing. But before we get into that, of course, you can find me always, Bryan the Baltimorean. You can find me on @democracy.com. And you can find Mark on... Oh, God, that's reversed. Oh, Jesus. We're going to keep this like this. I'm
not @democracy! Stop calling me that!
And you can Mark, where can they find you?
At K9 Biscuits, it's on the screen. That's K9BISKETS.com. Go on the screen and push and just put .com. I'm not @democracy. I don't know where that guy is. Don't go there.
Thanks for recommending my stuff. I really appreciate it. But of course, guys, Blasting Trouble Reports is one of many in the podcast, in the Screen Blast podcast lineup. So we hope that if you enjoy what you see here, you check out the rest of our content. We're going to move on. We're going to jump right into the cool stuff. Mark, what have you been playing? What have we been playing? Obviously, this is about to be a very chaotic year. We're going to get into a messy point in time. We've got stacks of games coming in. It's the holiday season. Things are going to be messy. What are you playing lately?
The game I've been playing and losing at is eating chow mein with soy sauce and not getting it on my fucking shirt before the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, look at this, guys. Look at this shirt.
Bryan's supposed to like edit the stains out with his like CG magic.
I don't know what he's talking about, but he's gonna be facing the camera, bold and buff. Look at this.
Oh,
look at me! I'm hideous.
But I finished Spiderman PS remastered.
Yeah.
I finished all the I've been finished the main story like a year ago. Okay. But I finally finished all the DLC and shit. I finished Miles Morales. I'm all set for Spider-Man 2. I'm not 100%. I'm not platinum. I just want to get the end credits of everything, and I'm just satisfied with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm ready for Spider-Man 2. I'm gonna take some days off work just to finish it because it's gonna be a big game. It's gonna be way bigger than the first one because look at the fucking map structure. It's like, I think this like, cause you said like how it condenses some in New York.
Yeah,
this might have a more accurate representation of New York.
Yeah, Manhattan and I've been playing Spider-Man 1, but I'll talk about another game. He's got an effect. I'll be talking about another game after after this. But I love what I've played so far with Spider-Man on PS4, of course, or obviously up-res to PS5, the original game. I think it's cool. I think it's great. I love everything about it, but obviously, as a nerd that likes maps, you notice that it's just a condensed Manhattan, and that's what they have to do when you have such a visually impressive game. You cannot have all of Manhattan there. So everything just is squeezed a little tighter, looks a little smaller. Like, the Empire State Building is 10 blocks away from the Freedom Tower, which is fine. But either way, visually though, there's nothing like that PS4 Spider-Man design in terms of like what you see at city streets, the liveliness, the colors, sunset. It looks great.
Very advanced, again, like goddamn PS4 games.
And look, I'm not saying anything that hasn't been said about Spider-Man PS4, but seeing it on the PS5 as well, it looks great, especially on a big screen. I love traversing. I love obviously the web slinging. It's a quality take on Spider-Man. So It makes sense. I think obviously this is going to be one of the biggest games of the year. Obviously, everyone's anticipating that the sequel. So yeah, I think it's cool. But right now, I've been playing Android Assault Cactus, which I'd say is a very, very, very fun game.
Android Assault Cactus.
Android Assault Cactus is an indie game that was on Xbox Live Gold years ago. I picked it up and
on what?
On Xbox Live Gold. It's on the Xbox One, but that was years ago. So I've had it the whole time, and it's like I jump back into it. I play it quite often, but it's one of those great twin stick shooters that has characters and lore behind it. It's very interesting.
Does it have online?
I don't believe so. It's just.
I was about to say, you can invite me to play. We need to play more online games.
Yeah, absolutely. But
you're not gonna follow through with that.
I don't give a Mark. I don't give a fuck. But it's literally like, okay, so you have these characters and they're all just these cool. They have these cool designs, and again, everything about Android Assault Cactus that I love is that everything has a well-designed purpose. Everything looks cool. Everything is visually nice. You have these cool-looking robots that you're fighting. It's cool to go through the missions again and again and again. Like, it's very replayable. Everything's packed into it. It's a really fun game, and I just think it's worth playing. It's very cheap. I believe it's on Switch as well. It's on all platforms, I believe, at this point. So, PC as well. So, worth checking out. A twin stick shooter if you like that sort of thing. But yeah, very enjoyable. Mark.
Can you buy me a copy?
No, but you can grab yourself one. Look at that.
But anyway, like dude. Next week it's gonna be so chaotic. So many we're getting close to Halloweeny, right?
Right.
So we're getting a bunch of spooky games. Like these are games that are really scary. So we're getting games like Sonic Superstars, woo, and then Mario Wonder, woo, and then Spiderman, woo. Very
scary.
These feel like November releases. Honestly, it's weird that these three games that are not anywhere close to spooky, or I guess you can count Venom a bit spooky.
Technically, I was gonna say Venom's the closest thing
to spooky, but
I don't know, that Mario elephant's a little scary. I don't know about you. Talking flowers, a little scary, Mark.
Did you see those little animations?
I've seen the
animated little browser was like Peach, and it's like Elephant Peach. Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, man.
But it's weird that these feel like November titles coming out in October.
Weirdly enough, so.
Like all of them should come out with some kind of, not even DLC, just some kind of Halloween theme, like a costume mode. Like you put because Sonic Superstars is it has skins. Spider-Man has skins. All we need is Halloween skins for the Mario Wonder games.
Yeah.
So all these games need Halloweeny skins. Because
Guys, make it happen.
We're getting end of October games, and none of them are Halloweeny themed. None of them are spooky.
I bet you there's probably one release you're not thinking of that's and obviously there's going to be indie games, but you can imagine they're all three of them though. It's make something.
I think Jackbox is going to have something Halloweeny. Jackbox is also coming out next week.
Ooh.
It's chaotic.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Alan Wake, but I'm not into Alan Wake, so
that's good.
That's cool for the Alan Wake people.
That's kind of a suspense kind of thing, so it's the closest. The closest big release, as we should say.
Fucking packed October.
Packed October.
And what do we got for November?
That's when RPG comes out. That's when
oh yeah, Mario RPG.
There's a couple of things that are dropping. Obviously, Mark, you forgot about the biggest game of the year, Detective Pikachu. I think came out this week or next week.
It came out already.
Yeah. So packed.
Yay! Everyone's playing that. Everyone's talking about Detective Pikachu too. Because the graphics on that one look fucking amazing. You thought Spider-Man 2 looked good? Look at Detective Pikachu 2, and look at the comparison side by side.
To the 3DS. Yeah. All right, let's jump over.
Dear PlayStation, my grandma won't stop watching Blu-ray movies on my PS3.
Look, for $299, you don't just get a sweet gaming machine. It's like you get the best Blu-ray player around built in for free. You know how old people like free stuff.
Yeah, but
You know what she did for fun when she was your age? She pushed a hoop with a stick.
But I want to play...
With a stick.
I've been waiting...
Stick.
PS3, now $299.
PlayStation 5 has been out for 3 years now. It's been out for 3 years, and we just got ourselves a price.
Wow, it's only been 3 years?
It's only been 3 years.
Oh yeah, it felt like it should have been longer for how how much they're progressing with the price raises, and we're already getting a Slim.
Yes, and we'll get to that. So,
and there's already rumors about the next development of the next system.
So I will say a lot of the next gen stuff is from just all of the Microsoft emails dropping. Like when they said 2026 or 2027 or 8 or whatever was when the 5 or 6 is coming out. Which, again, we were joking around about. In a few years, PS4 is going to be retro, which is fucking nuts. You're going to be talking about Last of Us 2. Remember that classic game, Last of Us 2? Ooh, we're going to get to that point at some point in time. So,
for God of War PS4, can you believe graphics actually looked like that back in the day?
You remember when you said...
This didn't age well at all.
Remember when he said, boy, man, that's a classic. That's a real vintage experience.
Remember God of War Ragnarok? Those graphics haven't aged well at all.
No.
Man.
Yeah, I made this point.
Oh, no, sorry. No, here's better. Remember Horizon Zero Dawn?
Yeah.
Those graphics hasn't aged well at all. Thank goodness they're making a remake.
Oh, totally.
Not a waste of resources at all.
No, not at all. Not at all. In fact, they should definitely make a Last of Us 2 remake as well. Definitely necessary right now.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, I just I talked about this in a video about 5 years ago, and I was talking about the fact that I don't think we necessarily needed I thought PlayStation 4 looked good 5 years ago. I thought, okay, this is fine. We don't necessarily need a Slim right now, but obviously there were the limitations of the original system. But my benchmark was that Drive Club looked like one of the best looking racing games I had ever seen on any platform, and that came out in 2014. It's fine. I don't need. What are we pushing the limit for? It feels like we're moving away from. When I was a kid, I was very excited about more powerful devices, things like that, because we grew up in an era where we were pushing pixels beyond N64 to PS1 to PS2 to PS3, and there was a noticeable difference. PS3 to PS4 was noticeable as well, but less so.
I noticed the history.
But PS5. But the last thing is just PS5 to PS4, not as noticeable at all. And at this point, it feels like we're getting games that are incomplete. The problem is we are now getting games that are so hard to make for these more capable devices that they're incomplete. And I don't like that sacrifice, man. I don't like the fact that we're hitting this benchmark of, all right, so for a game that can reach the super powerful device, we can't make a full game. It has to be parted out. It has to be this price. It can't be a full complete game because these things are just they exceed our technical, what we set as our technical benchmark. And I think that it sucks that we've moved on to that point where games are just sort of incomplete now at the cost of more powerful graphical power. Because again, PS1 to PS2 we didn't have that problem. PS2 to PS3 we didn't have that problem. PS3 to PS4 in the beginning we didn't have that problem, but it really started. It's severe now. It's significant. Games are incomplete. They don't drop it. They're not ready at launch. Things are crazy. It's like I don't care for a next gen system at all. Like I said we were talking.
So are you talking about when you get a new game and the patch update is fucking massive?
Not just that, but just incomplete games. Games with hey, here's 2 things that are here, and then they'll be added maybe a few months later.
And when it comes to AAA stuff, they're definitely more complete. I guess I can't really think of really much examples. I mean, I don't think it happens too much anymore. I think during the 7th generation, it was happening a lot when they started taking advantage of the
8th gen, because this is 9th gen.
Fuck. When it came,
we're moving fast, man. Time's flying.
Fuck.
Yeah.
When it came into the 8th gen, it was happening a lot because they started taking advantage. Hey, we can just download the rest of the game on this system.
Right.
But it's not. I don't think it's in the beginning of the 8th gen and near the end of the 7th gen. But it's not happening as often as it used to, especially with the AAA stuff. It's
I don't know. It still feels like we're getting games that are either faulty, incomplete, not ready. I mean, almost every EA game has that issue. A lot of the Activision.
I know. I can't speak on that.
A lot of Activision. Well, I'm just saying. A lot of Activision games have that issue. Some Ubisoft games have that issue. It's just from usually the big tier guys where that's an issue. And I just think if that's the sacrifice where our games are going to be. Limited. It just feels like, to me, it feels like they're not able to push at the level that they want to because it costs too much to produce. Like for
I don't think it's that. I think it's more.
I just want to say, like Sean Layton, for instance, brought up the fact, this was years ago, that it costs $200 million to make God of War, and it's an expensive cost. Like these games have to be so technically complete because the hardware is so much more powerful that it costs so much more, and expectations are so much higher. I mean, there's rumors that Rockstar spent upwards of more than $1.5 billion on GTA 6. Like, this is nuts.
That's gonna be the GTA we're gonna be seeing for the next 15 years.
Oh yeah.
There's like by the time we get to year 12, everybody's gonna be like, "Where's GTA 7?" And like everyone's gonna be playing, "Where's GTA 7?"
We'll be on the PlayStation 7 before GTA 7, man.
Oh yeah, like we're not gonna see GTA 7 for another 15 years.
No, but
because like they're rightfully spending $1 billion on it because that's gonna be Rockstar's only game for the next 15 or 20 years.
Yeah,
they're just gonna keep supporting it.
Yeah, it's we'll see how that goes. I just think, like, they butchered their own games with the Rockstar Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas remakes, which everyone that's played those games thought that's a pretty easy home run. You don't need to mess those up. They're pretty easy to remake, we think. We've seen mods that are able to make those things look up-res, and somehow Rockstar screwed up big time. I just don't know how. Let me silence this. I don't know how they messed up so badly on their own creations, and it's a little bit, disappointing. So it leaves a distaste in our mouths. And also the other thing is they're comfortable charging an expensive amount for Red Dead Redemption 1, which came out 13 years ago. They wanted to charge $50, $60 for Red Dead Redemption 1 with Undead Nightmare, which is just DLC. Like, that's terrible. It doesn't have an up-res. There's nothing added to it. They're quite arrogant, and so
they're honestly, I think they're probably just like copying off, like, because I think the company is thinking like, hey, if Nintendo can do it, we can do it, because Nintendo's like releasing like just 2D platformers at like full price that they already released on Wii U. And it's like, because like maybe you can argue Mario Wii U is it's a probably big enough game for $60 because it's fucking Mario. But like Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, come on, you're reselling that for $60 again.
I mean, the fact that as much as I love what Mario Kart 8 is doing, the base game does not deserve to be still $60. That is a game from 2014 that is great. I think I love that game. I've now spent years playing that game. It is enjoyable.
I say the value is $60 if you bundle the DLC.
But that's what I'm saying.
The
DLC should not be. It should not cost you $80 plus.
Yeah,
to get everything at this point. But that's just the Nintendo way, and so because they can get away with it, I understand why other companies see that, but it's just a weird dilemma. Talking about price increases and arrogance, let's move on. Let's talk about this very recent news. Of course, we just recently, this is actually, funny enough, this is from October 10th. I guess this is just news we didn't see, but this is news from 2 days ago. But obviously, by the time you guys get this will be later. PlayStation 5 has new models, and they also have a $50 price increase coming with it. I will say, the Pro here, modular system. We have not seen a modular system in a
you should press F11 when you're like showing
long time.
You should press F11 when you're showing your screen those articles. We can like see like the time. They can like see the time we're recording, the date and everything on the toolbar.
Ah, who cares?
I know. It's
Whatever.
like, hey, if you want to be more professional, just like
if you do that, if they're that investigative on this, then they're looking at the wrong thing. Look at our faces, guys. Look at this great stuff. Anyway,
don't look here.
Don't look there. That stain. Yeah. But yeah, like, so. Here's the thing. They're slimmer. They're smaller. They're more efficient. But here's the key thing: the new slim PS5 with the disc drive will cost the same as the current version at $499. That's not changing. The disc drive one is not changing. While the all-new digital version will see a $50 price increase to $449. The blog post also confirms that once current stock has been sold through, once the current PS5s are sold through, the new slim PS5, the $50 increase one, will be the only option available for purchase. Those who purchase the all-digital version of the slim PS5 will also have the option to purchase a separate Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive for $70, which is quite high. I mean, come on, guys. While both models will also support a horizontal stand for those who prefer to lay their consoles down, and the stand will be sold separately for $30. The all-digital Slim PS5 still works exactly the same as its disc-based counterpart, only now also it supports the external drive. The price here, the US PS5 with Ultra Blu-ray disc drive is still $500. The PS5 digital edition, again, $50 increase. Mark, let's talk about this PS5.
So they're both 500?
No. Again, the digital edition, $449. The Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive edition, $499. $449, $499. The original PS5 was $400. It is now, like we said before, increased to $500. Now there is a
was it? I thought.
I'm sorry. It now has increased to $450.
Okay, yeah, 'cause I know I paid $500 for that shit. Unless GameStop ripped me off. Okay, well it's GameStop.
You bought the disc drive version.
Yep.
And that's not changing. That one's not changing. It's just getting slightly updated hardware. Apparently, like we saw before, it is 30% smaller. And also, I gotta give props. Look, I like the idea of a modular system. I don't like that it's $70. Sony owns Blu-ray technology, so this is in-house. Also, the vertical stand being $30 separate. I mean, the PS4 stand I think was $15. This is nuts.
Third parties is gonna make stands. I have a third party stand for
I understand. I'm just arrogance.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, if I need a stand, I'm gonna get a third party one. I have a third party stand for the PS4, and it's great.
Yes, but you're missing the forest from the trees here. The first is we're getting a price increase in 2023, 3 years after the original. This new device does nothing. This new device does absolutely nothing. The only thing you can change.
It looks pretty.
But the other one looked just the same. Pretty. Like
it looks prettier. Probably not.
So here's what
it still looks ugly.
Here's what I told you before. The PS5 has always looked like a very expensive piece of hardware. It has never not looked like an expensive piece of hardware. This does not change that. The only difference is that it costs more, and I think that that's the key here. It is nuts that in 2023, and I know that again, we've talked about this time and time again, things are getting more expensive, but PlayStation just raised their price, $80 for the PlayStation Plus lineup now to start per year. That's ridiculous. The PS5 is now $449, and they know they are so arrogant. They know people will jump on the for the holiday season. They know how many people want the PS5. This is arrogance we have not seen since the PS3 era when they launched. And I know it's not $600. I know it's not $600, $500. I know it's not that there yet for launch point or for the entry level price. But to increase right now is astronomically ridiculous. Slim models do not get price increases. That has never happened. In fact, slim models are usually the time point in which more people get into the system than ever before. It's always the reverse. I am very curious. I am very curious if we see them. I know they're going to hit their target, but I wonder if that target lowers a bit.
It's weird. Everything's going up, but
the last thing I want to say is someone brought this up. That's very accurate. Sony, this is a less expensive system now. This does not have this has the same capability, but it costs less. The components are less now. It's a smaller device. Everything about it is cheaper. Yet they increase the fucking price. Again, we've not seen this arrogance since the PlayStation 3 era. This is fucking nuts. It's $449 to get into, and like we were talking to our friend Kevin about, if you want a PSVR or a fucking Morpheus, which is even more nuts now, why the fuck would I want a PS5 that costs more, plus a portable, plus a VR? This is outrageous. And this is why, again, I play either, the Switch has been the MVP for me.
Plus the fucking Pulse headset and shit.
Plus the Pulse headset that's exclusive for the Morpheus or whatever. Well, not Morpheus, the fucking Portal. I'm sorry. The Portal. The Portal costs what, $200?
No headphone jack, no Bluetooth, what the fuck?
I don't, and then again, I think it's $70 for the DualSense 5, the DualSense or whatever. Again, this is why I don't have a PS5 right now. Even if I wasn't broke, I'm waiting for a value. That's why I waited until the 2DS came out. That's why I waited until until the time is right for getting a Switch. This is this is absolutely ridiculous, and I think it's absolute.
Do I pay off my mortgage, or do I get a complete accessory set with the PS5?
Tough choice, right?
Yeah.
Tough choice. But yeah, like what I cut you off. What do you think, man? Because I'm pissed.
It's weird because things are going up, yet like people are still like when it comes to new hardware, people are going out the wazoo for this. Like we were just talking about those Apple glasses, and like people are gonna buy those anyway.
The $3,000 whatever price, yeah.
I think it was 4,000.
Probably 3 or 4. I don't.
Jesus, I forgot the price. Yeah, I think it was 4,000, 4 or 5,000.
Yeah, but it's like, do we need even it's like if you're gonna raise the price, like, do we need a Slim right now? If you were so arrogant that you were gonna raise the price with a Slim model, you didn't even really need to make this at all. Like, this isn't even a Pro. This is not a performance upgrade. This is not a better console. This is the same thing. What are we doing? Like, look, again, I recommend to everyone. I always recommend, like, just buy what you can for value. The Wii right now, you can get for $50 almost everywhere. You can probably go into a video game store and find one for less.
It's not supported. You can do a lot with that.
But that's what I'm saying. At this point, there are more games per dollar on the Wii for a fraction of the price of the PS4.
Also,
PS5,
the other stuff you can do with the Wii.
And there's other stuff. There's great stuff you can do on the Wii.
With the Wii.
With the Wii. And that's what I'm saying. Like, are you making a joke or are you being serious?
I'm being serious.
You did the whole...
You got a USB flash drive, you know what to do.
You did the whole, like, eye raise. You go and say...
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But no. But, yeah, no.
Stick your dick in it. No,
but, yeah, I just... It's... so, like I said, to me, the Wii is like... Hey, if you have a family and they've never played the Wii before because your kid's young and they want something for Christmas and you can't afford to spend $500 because if you want 2 controllers, you're over $500. Let's say you're a parent and you just want to get a disc anyway. You're spending the $500 on a disc PS5 anyway. So $500 plus the 64 game, or 70 now, 4 game, plus 74 an extra controller, plus 80 for PS fucking Plus. We're getting out of fucking range here. We're getting in ludicrous territory.
If you're into like a system like custom system modulation, more than the Wii, I recommend the Wii U because like you can it's a giant DS if you know how to modulate it.
Yeah, the only thing that I would hesitate on is it seems like the Wii U has more disc failure rate for some reason. I don't know what's up with that, but apparently that has a pretty high disc failure rate in comparison to the Wii. I don't know what's up with the difference here, but somehow that one has a higher disc.
Hey, there's more modulation to be done with the Wii U though, so.
Yeah, so you can do way more with that. But yeah, like Nintendo Land, not the game, but just over there, the Wii Unlimited, just have fun with that, man. That's where I think you should go, especially when you have game companies that are ready to siphon everything out of you. I think at this point, PlayStation is not for the players; it's clearly for the bottom dollar. And I think that if players are, and again, we talked to our friend, and he was ready to jump on a PS5, which is weird to me. Like, I mean, not weird. I'm sorry. It's like he was on the hype train until we told him that the price is going up, which I think most consumers didn't know about. I think most consumers won't know about this unless they really get into the news.
But honestly, like, on a real, if you for consumers just want to game, for on the cheap, just like either, I'd say just like if you just want to stick with Sony, get a PS4. There's still some around there. You can there's still some. I think it just as of this year they just stopped supporting it because there's some modern games that have been cross-platform. From first party.
Absolutely.
But if you want a game on a cheap, Xbox is always good for the people who was always trying to save $1. Because they're still, even though it's cutting developers behind,
yes,
they're still supporting that Series S.
Yes.
Which is
that's the good one.
I hate that it exists because
it bogs down everything.
Yeah,
but it's the value option if you really want to.
It's still valuable. Also, it was the most available when people couldn't find the next generation
or the X.
It was the only system next gen system that you can find in stores and online because the scalpers were like taking everything else.
Yeah. And by the way, like again,
you can still find in stores.
Even if it's a less powerful system, if you have enough internet access, you're able to stream. You're good. Like I'm able to stream Starfield on a 1X, which is last gen. So if you're able to get on a series,
you didn't talk about Starfield when you were talking about games we were playing.
I didn't play enough to say anything about
okay.
it. But it's still something where it's like, oh, can I stream it? I can. Okay. I'm going to check for Forza Motorsport, which I believe just came out as well. I believe that's an Xbox Series exclusive. But again, there's like, if you want to get into that exclusive lineup of modern games, even though, and the bigger issue is also that Xbox Series S does not come with a disc either. So if you really were looking at that,
from beginning to end, I played Hi-Fi Rush, an exclusive next gen game, over streaming on my Xbox One.
Right. So there's no reason, and he's playing on the 1S, by the way. So again, the Series S is still capable. You've got, if you jump on Game Pass Ultimate, you get the newest Madden. You get, if you're one of those people, you get the newest Madden. You get a solid lineup of every single genre of game. And
keep in mind, you can only stream if it's on Game Pass, I think.
No, exactly. If it's on Game Pass, that's how.
Thankfully, Hi-Fi Rush was. I really wanted to play it, and I was glad I was able to.
Yeah. So it's. I think again, that's the MVP, but it's the MVP, but you're still up in price. You're still like, you got the membership. If you don't, if the recommendation for the Wii and the Wii U is if you don't want to get into gaming memberships, you don't want to do any of that, you just want to play games, you just want to have fun on a certain price. Wii and Wii U, find a way to homebrew whatever, do whatever. But if you're trying to find a way to play in this modern ecosystem, get into modern gaming, if you're not doing PC and all that stuff, which I've heard is also expensive now, go ahead.
Even graphics, even if you got a good PC right now, fucking getting a new graphics card is not as easy as it sounds.
Yeah.
Because we were just talking to one of our buddies, and they thought they were good because they got a good PC. It's like, no, those graphics cards don't come cheap.
Right.
And they don't you can't get them so easily because sometimes scalpers go after the graphics card too. More than anything, they go after the fucking graphics cards.
They've done that. They're doing that now more than they are the PS5 now. Which, by the way, the PS5 might also be in that situation now that original priced one is now going up. They really just fucked everyone because they announced that the price is increasing and they said, all right, the limited supply that's left is now just going to be phased out.
Scalpers are coming back.
So scalpers are going to be grabbing those old ones, increasing the price of those to make a profit, and that's going to be a wrap. So, and by the way, they could price those originals to $500 if they wanted to, and people probably would desperately try and grab them.
It's weird. By this time, we'd be like, for system generations, this is the value period because
yes,
by this time, because with every system generation, it's by this time it's you get bundles, you get freaking half off games, you get Game of the Year editions. No, everything went up in price. The systems are going up in price. The subscription went up in price. The freaking the games themselves went up in price.
Yeah.
And you're not seeing many of these bundles anymore. It's just buy the system and you better buy a game with it. Except Xbox, at least, you have a deal, you can buy a game.
And I will say, if you're looking for a game to own the Switch right now, again, I'm sorry, when I say modern gaming, technically Switch is outside of that to me. It's it's on its own. It's less processing.
It is a cheap option. Switch Lite, you'll see a couple of bucks.
The Switch Lite is $200, but also, I think the game voucher, even though it is $100, which pricey, you get if you get the membership. Which I think the cheapest one is $20 a year. What is it, 20, 30 a year? It's much cheaper than the others. But the
$20. It's still $20 a year for the
$20 a year for the
Plus. It's $35. It's not that much.
Right, and then for the Plus, which gives you a pretty good library of classics, that's $35. But if you were to spend what you would have spent on a PS5 on the Switch, you could get that game voucher, that $100 game voucher, and you could just choose to.
Oh, dude! I just realized.
Which is a great deal.
I just realized a year of PlayStation Plus costs more than the fucking family deal for Switch.
For Switch?
Yeah. So for the price of PlayStation Plus, you can pay for a whole family to have Switch Online plus the Plus section of Switch Online, and you can have some money left over.
Plus, you get 2 controllers with the Switch, technically. I mean...
2 controllers with the Switch?
Not
with Switch Online, I'm talking
Joy-Cons. I'm saying if you're trying to play with family... If you're doing a family account,
I know, I was just talking about subscription.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, because again, like when you're talking about adding up all the price, like that's another deal on top of it.
I mean, I guess you're talking about hardware.
But you're right though, like 100%. Like overall, the online ecosystem, again, Switch is dominating, but the reason why Switch sales are less than PS5 is just because everyone knows there's another one coming, and they're kind of waiting for it. But again, we'll see this by the end of the year.
Wait, Switch sales are less than PS5s?
PlayStation 5 right now is that's why they're so arrogant.
I blame scalpers.
That's why. Yes, they're just picking them up and going, but that's also in the numbers.
I think there's like a fucking 1,000 dozen still PS5 still just sitting in warehouses.
Fair, I think so too. But I think that the numbers are, if people are interested in the PS5, that kind of tells you everything you need to know. Like if scalpers are grabbing them, that tells you how many people are still interested in them. We also have seen them in stores still now, so they're not like they're vanished. But yeah, PlayStation 5 on the rise. I just PlayStation 5 on the rise. Again, I think it's unfortunate because I was a PlayStation kid. I grew up with PS1, PS2, PS3, and it sucks to see that they're back at this arrogant point. I mean, this is, by the way, why my family didn't get a PS3 until 2010. Like, we just, it's like my parents knew, like, yeah, this is too expensive. And I had a PS2 well into...
And then, like, 4 years later, I bought off of you.
You bought it off of me. You bought it off of me. No, that was one I bought separately.
Oh.
But, yeah, you
sold me a lemon.
Yeah.
I want my money back.
And it was a good lemon worth the price. It was a good one. It was a good one. You're not getting shit.
You just count your money, sucker.
Yeah, but yeah, man, it's disappointing because again, we saw last thing after that PS4 E3 press conference 10 years ago. It felt like they had turned the tide. They understood what gamers wanted. They were really against the idea of being so anti-consumer, and it's just completely opposite.
And how they announced they're cheaper than Microsoft too.
Yeah.
It's like, we know how important your dollar is. We're gonna be way cheaper. It's like Microsoft is the one saving pennies for consumers now.
And I think what's depressing is it's like if everyone flooded to Xbox, they'd be just as arrogant next generation. That's the sad thing. There's no winning
because they're in like they have third place. They have more to improve on.
Yeah. All right.
Like, I'll get started going on a tangent, but like it's just like I remember when I first got my PS5. When I asked the cashier, I just like, can I just do sometimes because I just like in denial that like it's I'm just in denial that like it's just there. So but I still like when I go to a GameStop, I'm like, do you guys have any next generation consoles in stock? And I know the answer is gonna be no, but then like for that one time I got like I got a PS5, and I was like. I almost didn't believe. I just like stared at them for a second. What? Really? Yeah. I'll buy it. And like they brought it out, and I'm like, this is real. This is real. I'm really buying it. Holy shit! I actually have it. I just left the store. It's in my hands.
And there's a gun in my face.
The guy takes off his mask and see you. I'm sorry. We'll talk. I'm sorry, Mark. I have to take the PS5. We'll talk about it on the podcast next week.
All right. All right, guys. Yeah. What time? How long have we run on this?
38 minutes. Not that long.
I'm gonna be honest. We could probably separate this and just do the next conversation.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, guys, we appreciate you. This has been fun. This has been Blasting Trouble Reports. Again, we hope you guys enjoyed this brief conversation. We just wanted to touch on the fact that things are getting more expensive. We are having a lot of fun this year with things getting more expensive. Nintendo obviously increased Zelda to $70, but everything else is not apparently. Probably until next year when they release that new device, then things will probably be $70
I want to commit seppuku.
But either way, we did that. That was cool, Mark. Where can they find you again?
At Antimocracy. I'm shutting my channel down.
I'm pulling that up. Fuck you.
I'm shutting my channel down. You can unsubscribe. You can unsubscribe right now.
Could you imagine, like, I look back, like, tomorrow, and I have, like, 5 subscribers. They just saw this somehow. I didn't even upload this yet. They just heard what you said. And
and there's, like, drama. There's, like, YouTube drama channels. They're, like, Antimocracy ending? Is this the end of Antimocracy? And it's like your face in the background, like, they're in front of the thumbnail, like...
At Democracy was a channel that started in 2015.
Anti-Democracy subscriber count live reaction.
Right, no. At Democracy was a channel that started in 2015. To understand At Democracy, we have to understand the Civil War. In 1865, it's like, what the like, alright.
If we want to deep dive into anti-democracy, where did racism start? Where did misogyny start? We have to look back.
We have to look back at Joe Biden. Alright, guys. You can find me at Democracy. You can find me, that's ATHEMOCRACY.com. You can find me, of course, at BryanTheBaltimorean.com as well. Or you can find me, of course, right here on Blasting Turbo Report, part of the Screen Blast lineup. You can also find this man at the same spot. Of course, questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, ideas, all of it, send it to screenblastpodcast@gmail.com or on our YouTube comments section. We will try to listen to it, obviously. So, guys, we appreciate you for watching, and stay tuned for next time.
And light out, everybody!